What is consumer behavior? Consumer behavior is the study of peoples, which is individuals, groups, and the organizations, the process use and the impacts of the processes on the consumer and society. So the process is to select, secure, use and dispose of products, service, experience or ideas to satisfy need. There are two types of definition of consumer behavior, which is the first one is according to Angel, Blackwell and Mansard. Consumer behavior is the action and decision process of people who purchase goods and service for personal consumption. The second one is according to Loudon and Beta, which is consumer behavior is the decision process and physical activity which individuals engage in when evaluating, acquiring, using, as disposing of goods and service.
Let's move on to the model of consumer behavior. First model is marketing and other stimuli, including product, price, place, promotions, whether it is economical, technological, political, or cultural, that will affect the buyer's decision process, as known as buyer's black box. The black box model is meaning to something triggers the consumer to make buying decisions that are influenced by many factors. As I said before, products, price, place, promotion, marketing, message, sampling, product availability, and so on. Next is the buyer's response, from product choice, brand choice, dealer choice, purchase timing, and the amount of the purchase.
There are two types of customers, which is the internal customers and external customers. Internal customers, people that we serve within company or those who use the output from your job, which is the member of your organization who consume service provided by your organization that are not available to external customers. It is common for departments, team and individual to view internal stakeholder as their customers. The second one is external customers. They are fits the traditional definition of customer that include clients, guests and patient. External customer can be classified as retail or industrial. So the example of the external customer is which is we are people buying grocery in the supermarket, we are guests in a hotel, we are travelers buying ticket from any airline.
Now, let us take a look at the next slide, which is about the factor that will influence the consumer behavior. The influences of consumer behavior can be divided into two, which are the first one is the internal influences and the second one is the external influences. As for the internal influences, it can be divided into two. The first one is the personal factors and the second one is the psychological factors. While for the external influences, it can also be divided into two, which are the first one is the cultural factors and the second one is social factors. As you can see, the personal factors are age, income, occupation, lifestyle, and personality. Now, let us go one by one on each of the personal factors. So the first one is about the age. Age of the consumer and his or her life cycle are two most important sub-factors under personal factors. With the age and the life cycle, the consumer purchase options and the motive of purchase changes, with his or her decisions of buying products change. Hence, this stage does affect consumer behavior. Next is occupation. Next is income, or can also be known as financial or economic situation. It's the same thing. So basically, everything can be bought and sold with the help of money. If the economic situation of a consumer is not good or stable, it will affect his purchase power. In fact, if the consumers or the economy of a nation is suffering a loss, it definitely affects the consumer purchase or spending decision. The next one is the occupation. Occupation can also affect the consumer behavior. The occupations groups has above average interest in buying different products and services offered by organization. In fact, organizations produce separate products for different occupational groups. Moreover, we're going to look at the lifestyles. People originating from different cultures, subcultures, occupations, and even social class have different styles of living. Lifestyle can come from the interests, opinions, and activities of people. Different lifestyles affect the purchase pattern of consumer. As for the last point is the personality. Every individual is different and have different and distinct personalities. Their distinct personalities and distinct psychology affects their buying decisions. Hence, purchase of products and services differs from person to person. Now, we are going to look at the second internal influences, which is the psychological factors that can be divided into four. The first one is motivation, the second one is perception, the third one is learning, and the last one is beliefs and attitude. Now, let us take a look at each of the points. So, as for the motivation is activating the internal needs and requirements of the consumer. It can also be described as goals and needs of the consumers. Motivation arouses and directs the consumers towards certain goals. These needs can be psychological needs, needs of security, social need, esteem needs, and also self-actualizing needs. Next is the perception. Perception is sensing the world and the situation around and then taking a decision accordingly. Every individual looks at the world and situation differently. The judging ability and the capacity of every individual is different, and hence they look at the world differently. This is what separates the decision-taking abilities. The third one is learning. Learning is the research of products and services before the consumer take the decision of buying products. Learning and self-educating these days is done online and also in group. Experience is taking a lesson from the past experiences of a product and service. Learning and experience both again play an important role in influencing the consumer's behavior as it influences their purchase decision. And the last one is the attitude and beliefs. Attitude is a consumer favorable and unfavorable emotional condition or emotional feeling. Also, its tendency of reaction to certain action and behaviors. Beliefs of people, there are the belief that people assume the products to be as meet the specification of the products. Hence, attitude and beliefs are also important and need to be taken into consideration while studying human behavior. Besides that, we also have external influences that will influence the consumer behavior in buying their goods and services. So, the first one is the cultural factors that can be divided into three, which are culture, subculture, and social class. As for the culture is a very complex belief of human behavior. It includes the human society, the roles that the society plays, the behavior of the society, its values, custom, and traditions. Culture needs to be examined as it is a very important factor that will influence the consumer behavior when they buy goods and services. Next is the subculture. Subculture is a group of people who share the same values, customs, and traditions. You can define them as the nation, the religion, racial groups, and also groups of people sharing the same geographic location. The next one is social class. Society possesses social class. In fact, every society possesses one. It is important to know what social class is being targeted, as normally the buying behavior of a social class is quite similar. Remember, not just the income, but even other factors describe social class of a group of consumers. Then, we're going to look at the second external influences, which are the social factors. First point is family. The behavior of a consumer is not only influenced by their motivations and personalities, but also their families and family members, who can two or more people living together either because of blood relationship or marriage. Therefore, if this one member in a family like this product or services, that person will influence the other members to also buy the same services and the same goods. The second one is the reference group. Under social factor, reference group have a great potential of influencing consumer behavior. Of course, its impact varies across product and brands. This group often includes an opinion leader. The last point is the role and status. People who belong to different organizations, groups, or club members, families play roles and have status to maintain. These roles and status that they have to maintain also influences consumer behavior as they decide to spend accordingly. Next, we're going to look at the nature of consumer behavior. Basically, the nature of consumer behavior can be divided into 5. The first one is influenced by various factors. Second one is undergoes a constant change. Third one is varies from consumer to consumer. The fourth one is varies from region to region and country to country. And the last one is information on consumer behavior is important to the marketers. Let's take a look at the first point, which is influenced by various factors. Basically, there are lots of factors that will influence the consumer behavior. The first one is marketing factors, such as product design, price, promotion, packaging, positioning, and distribution. Second one is psychological factors, such as buying motifs, perceptions of the products, and attitude towards the products. The third one is social factors, such as social status, preference, groups, and families. And the last one is cultural factors, such as religion, social class, and subcaste. As for the second point, is undergoes a constant change. I'll give examples to get you understand better on this topic. Kids prefer colorful and fancy footwear, but as they grow up as teenagers and young adults, they prefer trendy footwear, and as middle-aged and senior citizens, they prefer more sober footwear. So, the change in buying behavior may take place due to several other factors such as increase in income level, education level, and marketing factors. So basically, if you look at the examples that have been shown on the slides, basically the change in buying behavior is taking place due to the age. When they are kids, they prefer colorful and fancy footwear, but when they grow up, they prefer more sober footwear, something that look nice to be wear as footwear. Okay, the third point is varies from consumer to other consumer. The differences in consumer behavior are due to individual factors such as the nature of the consumer, lifestyles, and culture. As an example, some consumers are technoholics. They go on shopping and spend beyond their means. Next, we're going to look at the fourth point, which is varies from region to region and country to country. Basically, it's involved the geographical location. The consumer behavior varies across states, regions, and countries. For example, the behavior of the urban consumers is different from that of the rural consumers. And the last point is the information on consumer behavior is important to the marketers. The knowledge of consumer behavior enables them to take appropriate marketing decisions in respect of the following factors: product design or model, pricing of the product, promotion of the product, packaging, positioning, place of distribution.
Okay, let's move on to the buyer decision process. There are 5 steps in decision process. First is need recognition, information search. Third is evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision. Last but not least is post-purchase behavior. What I mean with need recognition is we identify first what is our problem at that moment. What do we need to solve the problem? It can be internal stimuli or external stimuli. Let me give the example of internal stimuli. For example, me myself have difficulties if I don't have a car as my transportation to my workplace. So what do I have to do to solve my problem? Yes, of course, I need to buy a car to solve my problem. After I recognize my problem, I research for information from any sources including personal sources, commercial sources, public sources, or experiential sources. It will help me in making decisions and hoping that it can fulfill my satisfaction by make a short list of my surveys. Next step of buyer decision process is evaluation of alternatives. We have to use careful calculations and logical thinking in evaluating the alternatives. For example, just now I want to buy a car. The alternative if I don't buy a car is using public transport. What is the pro and the cons for the public transport compared to the new car? So I will evaluate all those things and decide if I have to buy a new car or not. After that is purchase decision. Purchase decision will affected by a few factors. For example, attitudes of others or unexpected situation factors. Example of unexpected situation factors is I already decide that I want to buy a Myvi, but suddenly there is a promotion on Asia. My intention to buy a Myvi changed to the Asia because Asia will fulfill my budget satisfaction. So I suddenly changed my decision because of the unexpected situation. The last but not least, this is post-purchase behavior. After I purchase Asia, if I'm satisfied, I'm the happiest person in the world.
There are 7 types of consumer risk. The first one is financial or economic. Financial risks arise when the consumer thinks about their return on investment, assessing whether the product they intend to purchase is worth its price or whether the benefits of the products outweigh the investment. They may come under financial risk. When a consumer worries that an impulse buy might strip him of valuable cash, it also comes under financial risk. So the second one is the performance. The other name of the performance risk is the functional risk. So the functional risk refer to the risks associated with the functioning of the product. For an example, a consumer who loves to bake cakes for his family and friend might think, will the oven be sufficient to bake multiple batches of cakes? The functional risk is associated with the product's feature, functioning and perceived benefits, and also includes concerns regarding the quality of the product. Like the third one is the physical risk, or the other name is personal risk. Physical risk is the doubt about the safe usage of the product come under physical risk. A consumer might be confused about how safe it is to use a particular product or service and thus think multiple times before making the purchase. The fourth one is psychological, or the other name is same, which is social risk. It is a known fact that brand works extremely hard at creating an identity and image that their customer can identify with. Customers to start relating to a particular brand and thus hesitate to get associated with a newer or lesser priced brand. And then the sixth one is time risk. This kind of risk refers to the consumer worries about time consumption when purchasing a new product. The consumer here worries about how much of his time as well as the effort of the new product will consume. A common example here is when firms switch from existing software to a new one. If using complex new software, the firm will have to train their resource in the new software and thus have to invest their time and effort when making the switch. Companies, therefore, address this kind of concern by pitching their product as a time saving. So, the last one is the opportunity loss. Okay, risk reduction strategies. The first one is be brand loyal and consistently purchase the same brand. Okay, as an example, we take the Adidas product. So, we'll be loyal to Adidas product and we don't buy the others product, which is we buy the Nike product. So, when we buy for the first time and the others, we just buy only the Adidas product to keep our loyalty. So the second one is buy through brand image and purchase a quality natural brand. So this brand of Adidas have a high quality of products, like their shoes, their shirts, they have a comfort wear. And third one, buy through store image from a retailer that you trust. Okay, this one is a really important when we buy at the wrong place. So you must buy from a Adidas store, not at the night market, because we want to keep the originality of the product. The fourth one is to seek out information in order to make a well-informed decision. So before we buy a product, we must search at the Google or Safari, because we want to know what is information about the product before we buy it. We search for the price, we search for the quality, we search for the design, and we search for the price. Okay, the fifth one is to buy the most expensive brand, which is likely to have a high quality. Okay, as an example, we take at Adidas brand, they have many type of shoes. So like Adidas Ultra Boost, Adidas Yeezy Boost. So Yeezy Boost have the quality and the price also high. So when we compare and we have a budget, enough budget, and we buy the most high quality, which is the Yeezy Boost. And the sixth one, buy the least expensive brand in order to reduce financial risk. Okay, when you have a financial problem, so you must look at your budget.